Another great new feature of Google SketchUp is called photo textures. This allows you to take photos of buildings. Let me show you where the window is at. In fact, if we go here to Window, you'll find View. Now, this defaults to Pearl Street in Boulder, Colorado, which is a very nice street, but we can really go anywhere we want and basically use Street View to get some textures. So let's go ahead to San Francisco, open a file called Ferry Building. Or basically a reasonable facsimile of it. Be a lot more rich if we put some textures on it. Right now it's just very plain geometry. So let's go ahead in photo textures to our building. Now I have Embarcadero, San Francisco. So all we have to do is type go, and here we are. Now if you notice, this is at basically Google is our Street View window. So if we left click, we can just drag and look at the building. Now, one of the things with photo textures is that you really do want to get a good shot of the building. And one of the reasons why I chose this particular one is because there's actually two streets that blanket it. So if I actually click over to the other side, you can see I can get a closer view of that building. But also notice how when I have that closer view of the building, it's kind of hard to get textures for parts of it. So if you create some textures for this particular building. So first of all, let's go with this front facade. First thing I need to do is select the face in SketchUp that we want to modify. So for example, I want to do this. Click on Select Region. Once I do that, it brings up this little box, and all I have to do is just grab the corners of that box, just left click and to what we want to map within SketchUp. And once I do that and get it pretty close, all I have to do is click. When I do that, it grabs it and automatically builds a texture for that particular face. So let's go ahead and do the face of the clock tower. So I'm going to go ahead and select this, and let's do it one more time. Select region, and again, I'm going to go to the top corner and bottom corner. And again, this is all approximate, but you can get it fairly close. And once you get it, just click grab, and there we go. Now, one of the things you may not be able to get is the sides or the back. So, for example, a landmark such as the Ferry Building will have a internet, and you can use any of these to create a texture. So if I wanted to, I could use that to create my texture rather than Google Street View. So you have a lot of different options. Now, if I want, I can go back to Street View just by clicking here. Now, one of the things is that with this particular building, we can actually trick it to get and go grab. And now I've grabbed the side of the clock to what you had before and just click grab. Add this address up, it actually filtered into that texture. So what you need to do is you need to select region and make sure that that's not up before you hit grab. So as you can see, we've got. Now let's say we wanted to do some of these longer sides. Now these are actually going to be a little bit more difficult, particularly in this view. You can see that graphic. So one of the things you may want to do is actually zoom in and maybe do it a piece at a time. So for example, if I want this, you can actually navigate this exactly like you can with Street View just by pressing these arrows. So let's say I wanted to get part of this particular wall and maybe not the whole thing. So what I can do is in SketchUp, I could actually go to the midpoint and just cut this wall in half and do it half a face at a time. And doing select region and then getting as much of that texture as I can. Now I'm only approximating this. This may not be exactly half, but you get the idea as to how this works. So I'm actually going to cut it off right at the end of that arch there. And as you can see, you can work your way around a building. You can use Street View or you can use views from other people. Now, another thing I've noticed here is that because I'm on the so what you're doing is you're actually being pretty opportunistic in how you get your textures. And once you do that, click grab. It kind of straightens it out. Even though this is at an angle, you can see it pretty much straightens it out for the side. So those are some strategies for using photo textures, and it's a really cool way to create textures for buildings that are in the real world.